nataka hii kitu, I work too hard.
Yeah. Go for it. Anza na kuiendea kwanza.
Yeah, I work too hard kwa sababu it's not easy also because the competition also is very high. So lazima pia
kujituma ni lazima.
Lazima ujitume.
Wow.
Nothing comes on a silver plate. No. You have to work for it. Lazima uchafue makucha.
You have to get your hands dirty.
Yes, that's why I love handiwork.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tunishukuru.
Asante sana.
We have come to the end of this conversation, unfortunately, but tutaendelea social media. Me personally nitakutafuta.
Please do. Na usikuje peke yako.
Even my people, please let's go support Tony Hair Pro. I will come here one day with very stunning hair and I will tell you it was Tony.
Whether we can do maybe something as we are talking.
Really?
Yeah, we can. Tupange
ukuje another time and then we work on it.
Yeah.
Imagine. Go follow Tony Hair Pro on social media platforms. Let's go get our hairs done. Hair is a woman's crown and he is here to groom us for that particular reason. We will be coming back with our next launch shortly. Welcome back. That was an amazing conversation we had with Mr. Tony Hair Pro, the winner of the Wedding Hairstylist of the Year in the just concluded Kenya Wedding Awards, who's also been nominated for People's Choice Award, still in the same category, the Wedding Hairstylist of the Year. So follow him on his social media platforms at Tony Hair Pro for us. So let's go support him. Let's go support his craft. Like I said, the hair is a woman's crown and we need people like Tony to groom us to wear our crowns beautifully and gracefully. Earlier on, as we were starting the conversation, we got to talk about the candidates that did not manage to secure the elective seats that they were campaigning for, and most of these individuals used all their money in the name of investing in themselves. They invested in their campaigns so that they can be able to, secure these seats, and in the event they won these seats, they were to get their return of investment from there, which is obviously public funds. But I came to learn that in other countries, candidates do not use their personal funds to finance their campaigns as they're campaigning for these elective seats. And in our country, most candidates don't have the opportunity to have financiers from outside. So what do? They finance themselves with what they have. They use their money, their savings. They like I said earlier, they invest in themselves, hopefully and willfully, hoping that they will get the seats so that they will get their money back. But in the event that they lose the seats, what happens? You've lost your money and you've lost the seats. How do you recover? How do you bounce back? How do you get back that money? How do you get back into the streets, into the community? How do you get your life back to where it was? You had acquired some sense of popularity, like I said, unatoka kwa nyumba, kiongozi mkubwa, governor, MCA wetu, hapa ni wewe tunapatia hii kiti, and then ikifika kwa debe unapata kura mbili. How do you heal from such situations? How do you heal from these hurts? Because people, according to, I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure there's people on social media, you've seen most of these candidates vent on social media and say mlinidanganya, mliniambia mtanipatia kura, mkaniambia ni mimi, mkaniambia kiongozi. But then they feel betrayed by the community. In as much as we say politics is like gambling, unajaribu bahati yako. So we cannot say that they were betrayed, but most of these candidates feel like they were betrayed by their community, they were betrayed by their constituencies. How do they recover from all these feelings of betrayal, the feelings of denial, the loss of your money, your investment, your time? How do they recover from all this? And obviously they have the sense of embarrassment. How do they get back out there and face the society? Because obviously they're being termed as losers, yeah? Everyone out there is calling them losers. Unahil aje from that process. I have our psychologist, Mr. Kagondu, here to guide us through the process of healing. The process of healing and the process of bouncing back. How do you put yourself together? How do you get yourself together? These candidates, these individuals are allowed to cry. They are allowed to, have all these emotions as a human being. Once you lose something, when you binadamu, you will feel it. You will feel it. You will experience all these emotions. If the emotions obviously you will cry as a sense of, removing that heart, if that makes sense. Removing that heart from your heart. Like I said, you're feeling like everyone betrayed you. We've tumekuwa kwa ground sisi wote tuliambia watu ni wewe tunapatia hii kiti. Ni wewe. And then ikifika kwa debe, I saw a story of, I think he was vying for an MCA, or I can't remember the particular seat. And then this man amepeana story venye yeye wakienda polling station alitoka kwa nyumba na 9 of his people. 9. Kufika kwa polling station, there were like 70 people, kiongozi ni wewe, tumekuja hapa kupatia hii kiti. And then when the results came out, this man had 4 votes. So even out of the 9 he left in his house, 5 did not give him, actually not 5, 4, 6, because yake moja na 3 za wengine. So those are 3. The 6 that he left with from his house also did not give him the seat. So how do you move past such situations? How do we go past it? How do you heal? Kagondu will be coming to share with us on a Zoom call, how we move past it, how we heal, and even how we as a society make the situation better and the space softer for these people to heal faster and move on, because they need to fend for their families. They need to move on with life. Life has to move on. But right before we get into that, we will be getting this story. Then we will be coming back with Kagondu.
The third Council of Governors will have a slightly higher number of women governors after the number of female governors elected in 2017's general elections doubled in 2022's general election. In 2017, Anne Waiguru was elected as Kirinyaga governor on a Jubilee party ticket, Charity Ngilu was elected as Kitui governor, and the late Joyce Laboso was elected as governor for Bomet County. Except for the late Joyce Laboso and Kitui's Charity Ngilu, Anne Waiguru, who was being re-elected on a UDA party ticket, will now be joined by 5 other newly elected female governors. Gladys Wanga, Homa Bay's women representative, is duly elected Homa Bay's governor-elect, clinching the win on an ODM ticket, garnering 244,559 votes. Wanga broke the ceiling, becoming the first woman to be elected governor in the Nyanza region. She is also the youngest county boss to be elected in Luo Nyanza. Former Meru County woman representative Kawira Mwangaza also etched her name in the history books, becoming the first female governor to be elected on an independent ticket. Mwangaza mastered 209,148 votes, with second place Mithika Linturi, who is the county senator, bagging 183,859 votes on a UDA ticket. she dethroned incumbent Kiraitu Murungi, a seasoned politician veteran who came in a distant third with 110,814 ballots cast in his favor. Cecily Mbarire joins Anne Waiguru and Mwangaza to become the third woman to be declared governor-elect in the Mount Kenya region, Embu County. The nominated MP secured 108,610 votes, which was the required ammunition to trounce her closest competitor, Lenny Kivuti, who bagged 105,246 votes. Nakuru Senator Susan Kihika dethroned incumbent Lee Kinyanjui to become the county's third governor. Kihika whitewashed Kinyanjui after she bagged 440,707 votes against Kinyanjui's 225,623 votes. She made history as Nakuru's first female governor-elect and will lead an all-woman team comprising Senator-elect Tabitha Karanja and woman representative Liza Chelule. Former Transport CAS Wavinya Ndeti is the governor-elect of Machakos County following her second stab at the seat. Wavinya, who contested on a Wiper Party ticket, bagged 226,609 votes, with former State House Chief of Staff Nzioka Waita coming in second with 129,181 votes. Fatuma Achani was voted in as governor for Kwale County, garnering 59,674 votes against ODM candidate Hamadi Boga, who ranked in with 53,972 votes. Achani not only becomes the first UDA candidate to win a gubernatorial election in the area, but also the first ever woman to be elected governor in the coastal region. The 2022 general election has cleared the path for women to rise to power and lead the country in the next 5 years. Samson Jura, KUTV.
Welcome back. I have Mr. Kagondu on Zoom with us. Mr. Kagondu, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
I am well. How are you this beautiful morning?
I'm well, doing better than yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Nashukuru sana. How are you doing?
I am well. It's a pleasure to have you here. We are not with you physically, unlike kawaida days.
Yeah, things happen and we just have to adapt with times.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that today with you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Today's conversation is working around the candidates that lost elections, the candidates that invested all that they had, their emotions, their time, their money, their space in order to get these elective positions, but then they lost.
Yes.
So,
and it's very unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. So how do these individuals move past this? Because it is a grieving process for all of them, and some of them obviously get into hiding.
Totally, and what we say, it's quite unfortunate for them, and especially for those who had invested so much. Like what I imagine is, like you saying, they had invested in terms of their monies. Talk about the emotional investment into it. But so many had built up some crowd, and they were the talk of the day all over the news, and everybody just talking about them. And the unfortunate thing with elections, we never get to recognize the podium finish. That is the first runners-up and the second runners-up. We only get to think about the winner. So the question is, how do they get to move past this? And I feel this conversation is very timely, and especially for people who had invested so much to it. And we have seen some of them in hospital, actually talking from the hospital beds, complaining, and just sharing how frustrated they are after investing with their followers, their constituents, and at the end of the day, they end up losing the seat.
Mr. Kagondu, these individuals were used to, you said no one talks about the ones who've lost. We only concentrate on the winner. And unfortunately, everything goes silent at once. Kunanyamazanga tu at once. Like right now, everything is back to normal. We've forgotten that there were campaigns. We are now trying to embrace the president-elect, waiting to see whether there will be a rerun. Now we are now concentrating on the presidential candidates. Yeah? And these individuals who maybe walikuwa MCAs and MPs, kwa maeneo yao, they have already embraced the winners. But then the ones who were candidates, walikuwa mezoea, you know, that mheshimiwa treatment that they normally get when they are campaigning. It doesn't matter whether there are 6 candidates, all of them always get that mheshimiwa treatment. So what happens now that sasa wewe umeacha kuwa mheshimiwa, umekuwa sasa umerudi kuwa mtu wa kawaida. How do you face the society again? And it is the society that you consider betrayed you.
Thank you. And I feel this is a very good time to actually discuss this. Why? Because like you're saying, what these people are actually losing and what they struggle with, it will be that which that has been taken away from. And when you think about that, thinking about the status quo, most of them had the titles, and having the title Mheshimiwa, this was it was a key to being treated in such a good way, to privileges that not every other person actually enjoys. If you go to some office, you are actually attended to within a very short time, and there's a lot of priority that is given unto you. You have seen them when they go to church. They're actually given the first row seat, and for them, they have to speak, address the congregants and all that. And you see, so many relationships were actually built on this. Their phones used to ring. So many people used to attend to them in terms of offering support. If it is in the office, there is some tea person, they find the newspaper on the table, the doors are being opened for them, and this has actually been taken away. And you see, we are so cruel as followers, as the people from the village and so on and so like. Why? Because we cease to appreciate that there's something that they did. And unto you, if you never did anything for your people back in the village or where you represent. Why? Because you'll be the talk of the day, they'll be pointing fingers on you. And you see, this can actually affect these people in a totally negative way. And this is why we actually need to share a lot of empathy. Why? Because what we forget is, as much as these people are actually our leaders, they're also human beings. And I remember, sharing that beyond the titles of Mheshimiwa, beyond the title of an MP, beyond the title of a governor, they are humans. And that's why we need to appreciate that this transition is not easy for them. Some will actually slip into depression. Some will actually fade away from the public eyes. They withdraw from the social status. And some actually get sick. And this has been evident, and we are seeing this on the social medias, talk about on the news.
And people are actually making fun of them, which is sad. People are making... Sorry?
There will be memes that will be created in regards to all this,
So how would you advise these individuals to work on themselves emotionally? What route do they take?
When this happens to them, it can be traumatizing to them. And it actually affects how they think, the emotional well-being, and also how they conduct themselves. And this is where we say, even before you get there, I wish they had the opportunity to actually be supported before the elections. Why? Because we say that this is a transition. And with any transition, there's a lot of change. And with every other change, there is what I refer to as the gap between the new and the old, or rather the old, the new. Okay.
To the new, yes.
And at times it becomes very chaotic. Why? Because we don't know how to go through that particular phase. And you see, for people who are not prepared, then this might actually catch up with them, and they are not even aware of how to go about it. But now, since has happened, it's very important for us to appreciate how the situation is like, okay? Because that's now the beginning of healing. Remember, they'll go through the 5 stages of loss.
Of grief, yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of shock and denial. There's a lot of anger, and it is quite evident. You have seen that. The other day when we had the announcement for the president-elect, we could see people throwing jabs and all that. That is anger, and they're working out of frustrations. There's also a lot of bargaining, for that Mheshimiwa who is no longer the Mheshimiwa, thinking what they did wrong and what they could have changed.
And whether they stand a chance to go to the courts and appeal.
Absolutely. You have seen that, and they actually into it and said, Supreme Court is our thing, and we have to do whatever we can to ensure that we get back the seat. And that is a lot of bargaining, trying to see if they can actually change the seat that they had before. Some actually fall into depression. Why? Because remember, they had a salary, they have families who they take care of. There's so many people who are dependent on them. Remember, there's that status that you were talking about.
Yeah.
And for them to fathom, or rather to get to think about how they're going to continue with life without that particular status or title, then it becomes a big challenge for them. So some actually fall into depression, and some may actually cope with this in different ways. Talk about drinking. Some actually even are suicidal. They are like.
Yeah, I was actually about to ask you about the individuals who may be wanting to commit suicide.
Absolutely. Why? Because for them, the pain is so much to bear, and they feel they can't stand, the ridicule from the people around them. There'll be the laughing stock in town. There'll actually be, and Kenyans, we are so good with that when it comes to making fun out of people. And for most people, they feel so helpless. They feel so hopeless. They look at life as it has come to an end. And for them, bring this pain to a stop, what they'll do, they might have those suicidal ideation, and if they don't get, they may actually actualize it.
Yeah.
And we hope if they're able to go through it and they get the support, then they actually get to the acceptance. And you see, acceptance is a level, or rather a stage, that many people are not accorded. And this is where we urge people out there, their family members, this is not the time to actually blame them. This is not the time to actually laugh at them.
Yeah, because
this is not the time to point finger.
Sorry.
Yes.
We've seen them in form of memes and funny videos. Content creators are making up these things, but then they are recreating practical scenarios. There's one I saw where a wife was telling the husband, unakuja kutuambia nini hapa na hata watu walikukataa huko nje. And it is that space where you expect you would be accepted back, but then that is the space where you're being reminded every day. Unakuja kutuambia nini na huko nje hata hukuchaguliwa huko nje. What are you telling us in this house? Who do you think you are? Na pesa ulitumia yote, hata chakula hatuna.
Going overseas for meetings and all that, and you never included any family member to be part of this. And you see, this is why we always talk about the family system.
Yeah.
Most of them, they never get to invest in their families. Why? Because at the end of the day, when you get to retire, when you don't get that position, political seat that you are looking for, you're fighting so hard for, you go back to family. And the question is, had you invested in your family? And you see, it's quite unfortunate, quite, because a majority of people out there, when they get busy with work, when they get busy with the titles that they have, they forget about their family. And
that's true, yeah.
Most of them actually struggle, when they go back to their family. Why? Because it's not a friendly space. It becomes like Kosovo, a lot of fighting. There's a lot of exchange of words. Why? Because nobody appreciates them, because you never did anything for them.
Oh, I wanted to also ask you, so that you become a candidate, so that you vie as a candidate in Kenya, it is a requirement of you to not be an employee somewhere, yes? There are many places, there are many individuals who had to resign and quit from their jobs as they were getting into these campaigns. How do these individuals, especially the ones those who have lost, how do they bounce back? Because now you're jobless, you have spent all the money that you had, You're jobless, you have spent all the savings you had. Assuming that most of these people had not invested in their homes, so they have rent to pay, they have school fees to pay, they have responsibilities to cater for, or rather to cater to. But then now they are jobless, hawajapata kiti na hawana kazi, hawana nini mshahara mwisho wa mwezi. How do these people, how would you advise them to go about their financial status?
And I feel that is very important. Why? Because what you are aware of, and a majority of us know, is that life has to continue.
Yes, it has to continue.
It has to. I was telling people after the elections, or even after we have the announcement of the president-elect, we still wake up the following morning if we are blessed of the Lord to be given this gift.
The gift of life, yes.
That no matter what, even if you don't clinch that seat, you still have to continue living. And this is where we have to be very careful, especially for those people who are in these positions, or rather these political seats. Why? Because the majority of them, they never get to think beyond, that particular circumstance. We never get to think the most unfortunate.
What happens after elections?
Yes, and we the people, we the followers, we the voters, we are actually very good when it comes to lying. Everybody is telling them, you are the man, you are the woman. And remember, one of the presidential candidates, Wajakoya, he was saying the reason why, I don't know if it is true, but there was a meme going around saying that the reason why I didn't give you
Sikuwapatia pesa juu nilikuwa najua mlinidanganya. I also saw it, yeah.
This is someone who is very sober. Why? Because we need to appreciate that the unfortunate can actually happen.
Yeah.
And this is where we ask ourselves, what can we do? Right?
Yes, that is, yeah.
Yes, we have lost the seat, and we are no longer the darlings in our village. We are no longer the most popular person back in the city, and so on and so forth. And this is where we say that as much as yes, you're going to go through the 5 stages of loss, it's good that you go through the 6th one, which is finding meaning. Okay.
Yes.
And how you go about it is, one, like we had said earlier on, you get to appreciate what you are going through at this particular moment. Because getting to deny that you never lost the seat, this is it's a very big challenge, right? Because you never get to overcome it. The other thing is, it's very important for you to allow yourself to go through the emotions, to experience the emotions. Why? Because a lot of people out there, what they do, they actually avoid, and they run away completely. They block. They don't want to experience that.
Or they indulge themselves in things, because there's people who will indulge in drugs, in alcoholism, to be able to forget.
That. Yet, remember what happened, and what happens with these traumatizing events. They get stored in our somatic system, in our body. And when that happens, that means you have to actually deal with them for you to be able to overcome them. Right? And when you do away with that particular phase, when you indulge in drugs, in alcohol, that means that you're also skipping a stage, or even you're putting that into hold. And that tells you later on it's going to come out.
It will still come back.
Yes, like illnesses. And the studies have shown, for those who have not dealt with their traumatic experiences, they actually go through, or rather, somatic conditions are manifesting them, and these are the physical illnesses. You go to the hospital,
you have
and the
ulcers.
Cannot pick where this is coming from. You have heard of people who have gone to hospital time and again, and there is no diagnosis being made. Why? Because they can't be able to trace where this is coming from.
And it is just stress.
It's just stress. When you do that, then that is the beginning of healing. All right.
Yes.
The other thing is, it's very important for you to ask yourself, what can I do? All right. After you experience that, of course, at this time, I'm imagining that you have some good support system.
Yes.
You have support, say, from a caregiver, a counselor, or even someone that you believe can be a safe space for you. And you can ask yourself, what can I do to ensure that life
moves on smoothly, a smooth transition?
Oh yes, because we need to pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
When I get to listen to one of my friends, they always say that when you fall, make sure that you fall looking up. Because when you look up, you can always get up. But if you fall facing downwards and your face is facing the floor, the dirt, you can never have vision. All right. And this is where we need to ask ourselves, what can we do? I always give the scenario of Moses and the children of Israel when they go to the Red Sea, and there was no way. And I remember Moses was asking God, what can I do? How you send me to rescue your children, and yet you're getting here and there's no way through. And I remember the Bible saying that, he was asked, what are you holding? And use that to strike the waters. The piece of rod, that is what he used to strike the waters. And upon that, there was a way.
Yeah.
And this is the question that we all need to ask ourselves. What is that we have, that we can use, that we can do to ensure that we get back on our feet? And I'm sure most of them, they are career people. Some of them, they have some great skills. Some of them, like you said, they had some employment. They were employed before.
Yeah.
And before they got into the politics, telling me that this is somebody who has something to do. It's
So we
only
can
that
say,
yes.
So we can say it is important to identify who you were before you aspired to become a mheshimiwa.
I love that. And what I always ask people is, who are you before the world told you who you are or who you're supposed to be? Okay, so who are you before you became a politician?
Yes.
Who are you before you got that title? And you see, as humans, we really forget so fast. As humans, we tend to forget about the person that you are cut for. And you see, if you know who you are, if you know your purpose in this life, then it becomes very much easy for you to actually transition, from one level to the other, from one phase to the other. And if you're able to do that, then seeking support, getting the right kind of support, it will be easy for you. The other thing, it will be creating some honorable stuff, or even being honorable to yourself. Why? Because most of the people out there, they never get to think about that term as something that they have actually achieved something that is of significance. And being a mheshimiwa, even if it is for one term, that is something, and for many people, for some people who have been looking for this particular seat, like my local area MP from the village, he had done that for over 40 years. Eventually he got it, but you can think of that person who has never clinched that seat for such a long time, right? And that tells you that even if you got that for one term, it means that you're doing something and you are something of value. It's always good that you appreciate yourself. And I've seen people coming up with their own foundations to mentor and, ensure that they mold, train other young leaders, support them in their possible, so that we can have a future, in our country of leaders who are for the people, who have values, and they mean what they do. All right.
Yeah, yes.
So you can actually mentor other people, and as a way that will give you some sense of feeling and
a sense of belonging.
Oh yes, and when you see other young people, other young leaders coming up very well, then I feel that will be a plus for you.
Yes. Now, as we wind up, Mr. Kagondu, what is that word of advice you would give to these individuals out there? That word of advice, this is what you can do as we wind up.
Yes, thank you. It's very important that we get to appreciate that all is not lost. And there's a lot of lessons that we can pick from the losses, and especially from this election loss that you might have gone through. Why? Because it's a time for you to pick, the lessons and see what you did wrong, see what you can do to actually ensure that in case in future you are to vie for the same seat, that you actually clinch it. And this is where we say that personal development is very important. And if you are honest with yourself, you'll be able to pick gaps that you have, right? Why? Because we are humans, and we actually grow on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
And that's why we need to appreciate that you all have some shortcomings. And if you're honest with yourself, then that means next time you'll be better off than the person that has actually clinched that seat. The other thing, it's very important for you to be empathetic with yourself, share a lot of compassion with yourself. Why? Because if you beat yourself up and your followers, your voters, actually
everyone is beating you up.
Yeah, then I feel that would be a very big disservice to yourself.
Yes.
So it's always good to get to encourage yourself, get to pick, the highs during that particular time, and especially what you're able to achieve, and use that as a motivation to actually move on and be able to progress in life.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Kagondu. Thank you so much for your word of advice. Like we've heard, be kind to yourself, and love on yourself. Don't allow the world to beat you up, and you also sit and beat yourself up because you did not make it. Thank you so much, Mr. Kagondu.
Totally appreciate. Thank you for the opportunity to impact and transform the lives of our people.
Yes, thank you. Have yourself an amazing, amazing day. We shall reach out once again because of your very, very wise words, and you educate us a lot, and we appreciate it.
Totally appreciate. God bless. Have a lovely day.
Have a lovely day, Mr. Kagondu. Thank you so much. That has been our conversation with Mr. Kagondu. I do hope that you have grabbed something. You've clinched some sense of knowledge from him. Love on yourself, be kind to yourself. And we as a society have the duty to be able to give these individuals who were candidates an easier time blending back into the community. Whether they won or they lost, it is our sole responsibility to be kind to them. You never know what is going through this individual's mind. Be kind to whomever is near you. We have come to the next launch. I will be having Femi Lai. Femi Lai is a guitarist. He is also the brand ambassador of Instruments Africa. He will be coming to share with us our journey and even play for us some music as we wind down, as we come to the end of the show. But right before that, I will be coming back to you after this short break.
Bila shaka, mbiu ya mgambo ikilia, kuna jambo. Na sasa, katika QTV Rise Today, makala ya TBT. Tunaongeza kuni, tunawasha moto. Tunaingia barabarani kuangalia hali ilivyo. Takwimu za corona na kupa habari zinazojiri na zinazokuhusu na kujuza na kukumbusha yaliyotendeka siku kama hii ndani ya historia. Kisha na kuletea wageni na wataalam, tudadavui, tufahamu na tuchukue nafasi yetu kama vijana katika uongozi, uchumi na masuala ya kisiasa nchini. Na joto likizidi, tunaingia uwanjani, tunachambua spoti ya Kenya. Ni kila Alhamisi saa 1 hadi saa 4 asubuhi, nami Vincent Maina almaarufu Ojwang mtoto wa Mariam, ndani ya QTV, a new experience.
Hello everyone, this is the new chapter of Let's Be Fit. I'll be host DiCaplo. I'm here to give you various workouts. I'll be having different trainers. We'll have Zumba classes, we'll have aerobics classes, we'll have box exercise, we'll have kata box, just name. The show comes every Thursday from 6:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. Keep it locked. Make sure we keep fit. And that's it from me to you. Let's be fit.
Ukiwa na dukuduku la michezo, tunafungua sanduku la dukuduku kwa ufahamu zaidi. Kila danadana, mitimpo, mifiatuko na harakati zote ugani, sisi ni wako mwandani. Kukurukakara zote nyanjani, haziwezi kuangaziwa zaidi ya micharazo michezoni. Mimi mwanaspoti wako matata Peter Pinches Mwaora, ndakuwa na jopo lenye maarifa sufufu, nikufahamishe na nikuburudishe wewe shabiki shakiki kwa uhakiki na kindakindaki.
Sasa ni bora zaidi, mwanzo mpya, mambo mapya. Msimu mwingine wa Boresha Kilimo unakuletea teknolojia ibuka, kilimo mseto, uongezaji thamani. Teknolojia dijitali ya mauzo inawezesha ufikiaji wa masoko. Sokomoko yako, mahangaiko yako ya kufikia masoko yamefika kikomo, manake tunao Mkulima Yangu.
What Mkulima Yangu does is it connects farmers with the market.
Hii ni Boresha Kilimo kwa ushirikiano na Mkulima Yangu. Atafutaye hachoki na kichoka kesha pata. Kwa makala maalum ya kilimo, ungana nasi kila Jumamosi saa 6:30 kwenye kipindi ukipendacho Boresha Kilimo.
Kuifanya nitaifanya hadi mwisho, mwambieni huyo devil. Simogopi shetani, sa God yuko nami hadi kifo. Kanta una kesho, ipe nguvu na uwezo wa kijana na akili. Kila siku ni zawadi toka Maulana na sote majaribu ishao.
Wow. Can I just... That's thank you so wow. I can just wow. What a wow. What a wow.
What a wow.
What a wow. That is Femile. I am feeling so privileged to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm almost having a fun girling moment. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
For those wondering, Femile is a songwriter, an award-winning guitarist. He is also a singer. He has his albums, but I would like to allow him this chance to introduce himself. Femile, karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
In Kenya, we say karibu sana.
Yeah. I've been hearing that a lot. I've been asking around. I need to learn.
It means
Swahili.
welcome. It means welcome.
Thank you.
Who is Femile for those who do not know Femile?
Femile is an artist, a musician, a singer, songwriter, and a music producer. I've been doing music for well over 2 decades now, professionally. I play about 8 musical instruments. This happened to be the last one that I picked up, and I think I loved it the most, so I just decided to just continue with it.
Yeah. So what other instruments do you play?
Yeah, I play the keyboards, I play the piano, I play the bass, I play the drums, I play different local percussions. In fact, if there's a percussion instrument, I can learn it in probably under 20 minutes and just start playing.
Oh wow.
So I usually in the studio I record most of the time I record myself with different instruments. But sometimes just for like a different taste you get in other session musicians.
Yeah.
But then it's easy because I know how to play, so I know what to tell them to play on my record or collaborating with any other artist. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you were coming in, you were explaining to me that your guitar is called Nairobi.
Yes, it is. So this is Instrument of Africa.
Yes.
Is a company that I'm signed to, and this particular guitar is named after this great city, Nairobi. And we have other guitars, other cities in Africa, because obviously, as you're looking at it, it's the first guitar in the world that is in the shape of Africa. And is made by an African, a Nigerian actually, Ezekiel Olaleye, who is the founder and innovator of this beautiful instrument. But this is Nairobi, paying homage to, this great city, which is why I started a performance with Mungu Peke, because it's just a beautiful song. And it feels amazing. The woodwork is just beautiful.
So they are customized.
Yes, to every country. Like we have 9 right now, so you have like the color and just the vibe of the guitar is very, very Nairobi.
And it's so warm. I feel like it's so warm.
It's very warm, and it's so beautiful to play also. It doesn't just look amazing, it sounds amazing also.
It's so beautiful.
It's very, very beautiful. I've been playing it for a while now, and honestly I dropped every other guitar that I've been playing. You have like big guitar companies that are really huge, like Fender and Gibson. This will stand side by side with those guitars, in sound, in quality, and in playability. So yeah.
You mentioned something earlier as well, and you told me that it sounds different. Not only does it look different, but it also sounds different.
Actually, Nairobi sounds a tad bit different from the other guitars, but there's a trade secret to it in the pickups. Is the okay for this? There's a secret ingredient in the engineering of the wiring of this particular guitar. Also, it's also the only guitar, because you have something called boton, where you put different pieces of the guitars together. But for this one, the wood is one from top to bottom. Right, top to bottom. Yeah. So like this is Nairobi is a very special instrument, and I feel I'm jealous because I'm from Lagos, but I love Nairobi.
And you
so
told me
much.
it's your first time here.
Yes, my first time.
How does that make you feel?
It's amazing. People here have been so warm and so gentle and so beautiful, so nice to me. The food is good. Obviously, I'm used to a lot of spice, but so far so good. I think it's great. Just walking around town, just seeing people. Even the policemen are nice.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Why are you shocked?
Because one stopped us on the way, just wanted to check the papers and just make sure everything is okay, and they let us on our way.
Oh, so nice.
It's been a good experience so far.
You have so much love for that guitar.
Yes,
Would you allow anyone else to play?
Yes, it's not for me. This is Nairobi. Nairobi is not for me. Nairobi is for Kenya. So my advice to every guitarist out there, or every lover of the guitar, is you need to pick yourself. Where do we get that? So like we are working with a local store, but it will be announced very soon. You can follow us on Instagram, Instrument of Africa, to find out where that store is going to be. But yeah, this will be live. You have a couple of days here in Kenya.
Exactly the same.
Exactly
with
like this,
including the secret ingredients.
Including the secret ingredient. It's the same.
Okay.
There's no change. This is not. This wasn't made for Femle. This was made for Nairobi. So I can go anywhere in the world and pick up an instrument of Africa, and they will sound the same.
Wow.
They will sound the same.
This is so mind-blowing.
I know.
You are also a singer and a songwriter.
Yeah, I'm a singer-songwriter.
And you have an album.
I have albums.
Familiar albums.
Yeah, I have 2 studio albums, 1 live album, and like 6 EPs, a couple of singles. Thankfully, no, I have a song that I'm doing today called Shishe. There's a movie called Breaded Life on Netflix. I scored the movie, the music for the movie. So most of my songs, some of my songs were used in the movie. But there's a particular song called Shishe, and Shishe means
please
work.
play for us that.
Oh, I'm going to definitely play Shishe for you. You know, so Shishe means work, and for me, it's like what you're doing, you're working. You know, everybody here is working. You know, back at home, probably in your offices, you're working, and you need a song to kind of just push you, even if you're having like I won't say a bad day, but like not so good a day. You know, you can get a song that will ginger you and just move you forward. That's the reason why I wrote Shishe, and thankfully enough, it's really doing well back home. So yeah.
Please play for us that
All
song.
right.
I would really love to listen to it.
All right. Yàrá dìde, iṣẹ́ lóògùn iṣẹ́. Yàrá dìde, ọ̀rẹ́ lọ wá ṣẹ́ṣe. Yàrá dìde, iṣẹ́ lóògùn iṣẹ́. Yàrá dìde, ọ̀rẹ́ lọ wá ṣẹ́ṣe. Ṣiṣẹ́, ṣiṣẹ́, má ṣeré, ṣeré, ṣiṣẹ́, 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 ṣiṣẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi. Ṣiṣẹ́, ṣiṣẹ́, má ṣeré, ṣeré, ṣiṣẹ́, 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 ṣiṣẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi o. Yàrá dìde, iṣẹ́ lóògùn iṣẹ́. Yàrá dìde, ọ̀rẹ́ lọ wá ṣẹ́ṣe. Yàrá dìde, iṣẹ́ lóògùn iṣẹ́. Yàrá dìde, ọ̀rẹ́ lọ wá ṣẹ́ṣe. Ṣiṣẹ́, ṣiṣẹ́, má ṣeré, ṣeré, ṣiṣẹ́, 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 ṣiṣẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi. Ṣiṣẹ́, ṣiṣẹ́, má ṣeré, ṣeré, ṣiṣẹ́, ṣiṣẹ́. I don't know how you know his song, so you can sing along. Let's go. Ṣiṣẹ́, ṣiṣẹ́, má ṣeré, ṣeré, ṣiṣẹ́, 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 ṣiṣẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi. Ṣiṣẹ́, ṣiṣẹ́, má ṣeré, ṣeré, ṣiṣẹ́, 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 ṣiṣẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi.
I'm just here imagining myself or in a hall, and now everyone is just giving you a big round of applause because it's
Thank you,
so
thank you,
deserving.
thank you,
This
thank
is
you.
just so. I'm just so
Thank you.
excited. This is so
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you so
What
much.
are we expecting from you? What are we
Well,
expecting?
yeah, right now I'm just preaching the gospel of Instrument of Africa and the gospel of Femle all around the world. My music is African, you know. I sing in my native tongue. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes in English. I have English songs too, but I love speaking. I love singing in Yoruba. I feel like I connect more to it. It's more me. Obviously, I would love to learn Swahili and start singing. You know.
Yeah.
I have collaborations with some of the artists here. Anthony also is
Upcoming.
someone, that I'm working with. I'm also linking up with Polycarp from South Soul. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, I'm linking up with him. So definitely, I'm looking forward to doing a lot of collaborations with a lot of Kenyan artists because I just love the music. I love the people. I love the vibe, and I would love to sing in Swahili. Honestly,
Yeah.
I would love to. So yeah, definitely, I'm working on moving around and doing tours across, not just Africa, but the rest of the world. I've done shows in New York, in different London, I've moved around. But right now, I'm just taking this music and just taking it around. For as many countries that will have me, I'll jump on stage and I'll perform.
I know you've had this before, but your music is beautiful.
Thank you
It
so
is
much.
very,
Thank-
very beautiful.
Thank you so
I
much.
want to give you more time to perform
Yeah.
than listen to you. So where can we get you on social media?
Instagram is femi.leye. Twitter, Femile, everywhere Femile, YouTube Femile, and all your favorite music streaming platforms is also Femile. I have a plethora of, the music is just a lot. You are going to go down a rabbit hole to listen to me play the guitar and also sing. And also, please follow Instruments of Africa on Instagram to get this beautiful instrument. It is not it's not for me. It's for you guys.
So beautiful.
I brought it for you guys. I brought Nairobi to Nairobi for you guys to just be a part of it. And the beautiful thing will be that you go around different concerts, churches, wherever they use musical instrument, and you can see this guitar. There's just a sense of belonging that it has. Like, okay, I'm African. I'm holding a guitar in the shape of Africa. And
actually,
it's also named after my city.
So brilliant.
I mean. So
brilliant.
If you're out there, you need to get this. So please contact Instruments of Africa and get yours today.
Wow, Instruments of Africa.
Yes.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
Do you offer lessons on playing instruments?
Well, I used to, but right now what I do is master classes. So I wish I had more time, here. I would have actually said, people come around and we do like a master class. But yeah, I'm coming back. So once I come back, I'm going to do a master class with guitarists across.
Because all of a sudden, I feel like I would want to learn. All of a sudden, I feel like I would want to learn how to play an instrument. Femile, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
It's an honor. We're very privileged. We would love to have you here again and again.
Please do. I love you here too.
Personally, I'm really going to wait for the upcoming music that you have with Polycarp and Antonio Soul.
I'm looking forward to it too.
I'm also very excited. I will wait for it. I'm sure we will all wait for it. Thank you so much. Some final remarks to your audience.
Thank you for supporting me. To everyone that just knowing Femile today, go check out my music. Go on YouTube. Check it out everywhere. Music is a universal language, and I have something beautiful to offer. My music brings joy and a lot of happiness. So you want to be a part of that.
Thank you so much, Femi. We've come to the end of the show today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have been your host, Nina Gikunda. I will see you tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. on Beyond Limits. I'll also see you next week, same time, same place. I will be leaving you with the amazing Femile.
See many people there
Sure, I'm your host, Esther Becky.
And my name is DJ Teros.
We start you off with a word of prayer and get you started with a live transformational worship experience. And have our minds renewed by the word of God on the word segment.
And not forgetting new music za hii wiki, yani ndakuwa bado nawapatia pale wasanii wamekuwa kiwakali. So make sure manzo tune in because zitakuwa zina flow pia pale mixes kwa wingi, yani zitakuwa zina come through, and pia performance yani from our gospel artist hapa on Gospel Art
from 7 to
10 a.m. only on KUTV.
Driving and riding without incidences on the road is such an amazing experience. But do you know while many road traffic crashes are avoidable, human behavior continues to be the leading cause. Speeding, lane indiscipline, drunk driving, distracted driving, failure to wear a helmet, and failure to use available pedestrian ways have been flagged by NTSA as the fatal 6 behaviors likely to lead to a fatal crash and serious injuries. As part of the Usalama Barabarani campaign, we request all road users to prevent these fatal 6 behaviors for their own safety and that of others. When driving, ensure your speed is within the stipulated limits, the road ahead is clear before overtaking. Stick to your lane, keep left unless carefully overtaking. You're well rested if driving on long distances, and you never drink and drive. Usalama Barabarani starts with you. Fika Salama. This message is brought to you by the National Transport and Safety Authority and the European Union.
Technology, science, innovation, ICT and research. These are the ingredients upon which the solutions to the 21st century problems are founded. In a world that is rapidly changing, it's all hands on deck to ensure a balance in all fields of life. Women, young and old, are also in the front line, breaking the glass ceiling, becoming thought leaders in the larger tech space. Not forgetting other societies marginalized. And when the tech Avengers come together, we inch closer to a much safer, efficient, and sustainable world. What we view as a norm in today's advanced world was just an idea, and for nostalgic reasons, we trace back to the iconic days to bring you the Retro Tech. On Tech Innovation Show, we encapsulate all the pillars of the 4th Industrial Revolution, decoded in a language, all for one for all. Make a date with me, Samson Jura, every Monday at 8:30 as we push the mantra, keep learning something new each and every day. Only on KUTV, a new experience.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Tupopa si vuguvugu. Tupopa ni idea.
Tazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, ndio inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni duniani leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Our endeavors today lead us to Kariobangi South, where we meet young boys with a big dream.
that of using their talents to evade, among other things, poverty. An ordinary day in Kariobangi South will witness young boys and girls how to have fun by playing different sports. It is at the Kariobangi grounds that we meet a team of under 12 boys by the name Handshake.
Wanafanya vile kochare anawaambia. Saa ingine nasoma, nikichoka nacheza PS, nacheza Injustice, naingia na arifu yangu anaitwa Pati.
This program is rated PG. Content carried in here may be watched by everyone. However, parental guidance is advised.
Niaje. Mimi naitwa Steven. Lakini wasee uniita Steve in short. Na hii ndo mtaa yangu. Huku hakuna mabaga, mapiza. Hii mtaa jasho yako ndo chakula. Kila mtu ako hustle. Nilikuwa na dream ya kuchange history yote. Ndio maana nilienda shule kufukuza ujinga. Nilikuwa nadai kuwa doki. Na vile kulikuwa kunaenda, labda ningemake. Challenges zilikuwa mob of course. Lakini after high school, life ilizidi kuwa ngumu. Mother hakuwa na doo ya kunipeleka kampo. So kama ibada, ilibidi pia mimi ni hustle. Nijitafutie. Hoping siku moja nita-achieve dream yangu. Hii system si ya watu kama mimi.
Watembeaje pole pole kama mama?
Nyaka kubwa kubwa. Haya ni ngori. Zidi zimwambie.
Hii street unafaa kuijua mzuri.
Na kwanza tukikucheki tena tunakugeuzia boda. Madhe, tena umelewa.
Niko sawa.
Si ulisema utaacha kulewa? Ha? Ha?
Pole pole basi.
Asante. Ubarikiwe. Sawa sawa.
Inazidi kuwa nini kabisa. Ndio.
Habari ya mkuu.
Ndio, habari. Sema.
Poa sana. Kuna kazi hapa hivi naweza jishughulisha nayo.
Hii magari unaona vijana wamechangamkia kabisa. Labda ujaribu